Friday, June 25th.
Yes.
Hey guys, it's Friday, June 25th. It's 1 p.m. and welcome to the Jenn Faeine Show. Thanks for watching and tuning in.
Hey, everyone.
So today's topic, we're going to talk about, have you had thoughts of selling your home privately to a private buyer? Here in Ontario, I'm seeing more and more, Faeine, where private buyers are out there, private investors, where they're looking to buy properties. And so, they're putting out postcards, they're putting out mailers, and they're making visits to people's homes who are looking to sell. And some of the idea behind that is that the home seller will potentially be selling their property as is, as I understand it, and they won't have to do any renos to get their home ready for sale, and they can have a buyer who will purchase their home as is, and they get a cash deal out of this without any conditions, and basically they can avoid having open houses and no stress, and these guys and gals make the deal easy and simple
Yeah,
for these home sellers.
it's interesting because, like you were saying, so you've got actual people that are advertising this, where it's not here in BC yet that I've seen anyways. What we're seeing as far as private sales go, we see a lot of people that are super frustrated with losing out on all of these multiple offers. And so they say, like, okay, well, I'm just going to go start knocking on doors and just ask people directly if they want to sell their house, and then they pick and choose kind of which area they want to be in. That being said, you mentioned that you actually have people that are putting out some pretty heavy advertising in around Ontario. Is that right?
That's right. So in the area that I work in Durham region here, I have personally seen these ads. There's a lot of street signage, where they put those little metal posts in the ground.
Yeah.
And I've seen stickers on like stop signs, call me, we'll buy now, whatever. Like they all have different sort of slogans, but the indication is that they'll pay cash and they'll buy it as is, and those kinds of things. So just wanted to touch a little bit on that, because I think as a home seller, I think you're doing a disservice to yourself to not at least have a realtor come in and speak with you and educate you on what the value of your home is. And the reason I say this is I did have a property that I was called in to list last year, and they were considering selling their property to one of these private investors who was looking to buy their home, convert it into 2 units, and buy it at a price that was probably in around, not probably, I mean, the number, I can't remember the exact number, but it was at least half of what we sold it for, if not 100. So somewhere between 150 and 200,000 less than what we actually sold it for when we did put it to market.
Dang. Wow.
Yeah. And recently I have seen another one of these properties that they have been working on, where the property again sold for at least 150 to 200,000 less than it should it have hit the market with a realtor. And so, my belief is that a lot of these people are offering prices, and yes, they may offer cash, but the way that I see it is that the price tag that they're offering is a lot less than what a home seller may sell it for on the open market. And certainly I want home sellers to understand that there's, given the fact that there's a lot of people out there that are interested in buying these properties as private investors and private home buyers, that you're not always getting the best deal.
Yeah.
Right. So we have a lot of buyers that are buying properties without conditions, that, there's no financing, they're paying cash. And, they're buying as is. This is what we've been seeing in this crazy real estate market in the last year or two. So, again, I can't emphasize enough that as a home seller, if you're even thinking about selling your home to somebody privately, that you really, really need to talk to a realtor first and get a good indication. If it's a family member that you're looking to sell to, and that family member's, you're giving them a little bit of a discount because you're saving on real estate fees and, those sorts of things, then that's different. But, when you're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that a potential homeowner is missing out on, for a lot of people, that's 1 to 2 years wages, right? And if you're somebody that's older or retired or in financial distress, not able to carry the property anymore, or if you're just looking for a quick sale, I mean, our average days on market these days are really, really low compared to, the past. So, all of these things.
I'm just
Go
going to
ahead.
stop you there for a second, because when you said financial distress, I'm looking at one of the companies that you mentioned earlier, and I won't say their name, but I'm looking at their website right now, and that's part of what they advertise is if you're experiencing financial distress, if you want to save on realtor commission. So it's almost like they're hitting the people when they're at a vulnerable time in their life too. It's like, oh yeah, somebody might think I'm experiencing financial distress. Maybe I should just sell my
Well,
house.
and you know what I think? I think if somebody's been in their home for a period of time,
Yeah.
they really lose track of where housing prices have gone.
Yes. Oh
I
yeah.
mean, especially in the last year with the percentage hikes, even from last spring to this spring, anybody that bought last spring is at least, in my opinion, about $100,000 more than what, like that home value is at least 100,000 more than what it would have sold last spring. Like I have clients that bought in the 600 range that, it would be near impossible at, in today's market to purchase it at, say, 600,000. It'd be at least 7, if not more, right? Depending on the property. So again, these are not exacts, but, certainly the percentages have gone up so much. So I think that, so in that one example, like I said, these guys came in and they offered them in the low 200s. And I said to this seller, if you're going to sell it for in the low 200s, I will buy it, right? Because this is, and they looked at me and said, yeah, we kind of thought that this was a little bit low.
Right.
And yeah. And so I was
did.
like,
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine?
So we ended up selling it closer to the 400 range. Like I think it was like 380. Initially, we had an offer for something. I want to say 420, but there were some stuff that came out of the home inspection that we had to tend to, and so anyhow, put it back on the market, all that kind of stuff. But I think the point is this, again, I can't say this enough, that if you are thinking of selling your home and you want to avoid real estate fees, you want to get it sold quick, all of those things, that yes, if you bring a private investor or a private home buyer into your home, then take note of what they say, but do yourself a favor and have a realtor come in and give you a price or an evaluation of what they think in today's market you will get for that. And I think that goes along with what you're talking about with the private buyer.
Yeah, well, exactly, right. And I think the moral of the story too is that you kind of have to think about it from the other's perspective too. Is if something sounds too good to be true, like something like this, like, oh, it sounds amazing, they're trying to think, oh, I can go this alternative route. Well, you got to think, okay, these what's their motive? What do they get out of it? Okay, so if they're advertising all of this, I mean, they're basically running a business. So of course they're going to want to get, the proper margins to make money. And
well, that's it exactly. I mean,
different, right? So it's
running the numbers. once they fix it, once they put it back on the market, some of them are not putting it back on the market. Some of them are converting them to 2 units.
Right.
And so if they're buying a property at 400,000, which is nearly unheard of, you and I did an episode last week, and in our marketplace,
Yep.
we do not have any detached homes that you can purchase
No.
under 500,000, really. I
No.
mean,
No. No.
there may be few and far between, and
Yep.
it might be a very small one-bedroom house that is, postage stamp on a decent lot,
Right.
on average, right? But
Yeah.
even at that, I just had some first-time buyers that bought a property for 550,000, and that we almost thought we weren't going to get them into a home at that price point.
Yeah.
So it's almost unheard of. Like, I would say if your budget is not over 600 to get into a property like a detached home, then it's very slim chances that you're going to, in today's market. So again, if somebody comes into your home and you have, say, a 2-story, 1,400 square foot single car garage, and they offer you 400, please call me first, because I will buy it from
Yeah.
you.
Well,
Right?
and I'm so happy that I have the heads up from you now that there's people that there are companies like this that are starting to advertise. I mean, we get the odd, private sale company, but definitely not to the same degree as that you're getting in Ontario. So I think everybody here in BC, and especially the Lower Mainland, keep an eye out for advertising, because it's just a matter of time before we get them out here. If you've got them and it's heavily happening out there, it's just a matter of time before they make it across Canada and come to BC. Because usually things
Yep.
start in BC start in Ontario, and then they jump right across to the other side and then start in BC, right? Just because the
Yeah.
state is so expensive both in both provinces here.
Yep.
So
So,
definitely something to watch out for, both provinces.
well, and to your comments about people going door to door in terms of trying to find a seller directly who's willing to sell to them,
Yeah.
again, that's can be advantageous. But I've also seen situations where home sellers have sold it for a lot less because they don't realize the market. And
Yeah.
let's say they paid 150,000 for it in, I don't know, 1995,
Right?
then,
Yeah.
like, I mean, and somebody comes to you and says, I'll give you 500 or 450,000 for your 2-story that could be going for about 700,000 now. That number might sound appealing to you because you have
Close
no,
in 15 days.
yeah, right, and
Right?
have no, like, no real knowledge that that's underselling,
That's right.
and grossly underselling, and you're leaving thousands and thousands of dollars on the table. So, I mean, I think in that case, buyers are trying to get a jump on getting something that's not on market, and I can see the advantageous points of that. And I would even hope that a buyer would, want their realtor involved in that as well, because I
Absolutely.
mean, that's part of why the government kept us as essential services, because the government did not want buyers and sellers doing transactions. I think that they, the legalities that go around that can be
Just
huge
gonna
as well,
say,
right?
there is a
Um,
reason why realtors exist, and that's so that we can absorb the liability. And I mean, we're held to a higher standard, just as they educate us, and like we're meant to know more than the average person about real estate. This is our profession. This is why we absorb such
well, we do
liability.
it day in, day out, right? So,
100%. Yeah. Yep.
but
Absolutely.
so if anybody has any questions about any of
Yes.
this stuff, feel free to reach out to us. You can DM me on Instagram at Jennifer Foley Realtor, or you can reach out and connect with me at 289-460-2564. Thanks for
Myself,
watching.
778-347-4663. And my website is themodernrealtors.com. Thanks,
Awesome.
everyone.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Bye.